Have you ever stopped to look at something that didn't seem right? Maybe a loose tile, a broken sign, a damaged fence. You reach out for a closer look and then move on with your day. But what if that simple decision suddenly led to handcuffs, a criminal charge, and national headlines? That's exactly what happened in a case that has sparked debate, raised questions about public property, and placed a former Olympic athlete at the center of a controversy unfolding in the heart of Washington, D.C. Welcome back. Today we're examining a story that sounds almost unbelievable. A former Olympian, a newly renovated national landmark, a misdemeanor criminal charge, and two very different versions of what happened. The question is simple. Was this an act of vandalism, or was it a misunderstanding that escalated far beyond anyone expected? Let's take a closer look. It all began at one of the most recognizable locations in the United States, the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool. Stretching between the Lincoln Memorial and the Washington Monument, the reflecting pool has served as the backdrop for historic speeches, national celebrations, and some of the most iconic images in American history. Recently, the site underwent a renovation project costing more than $14 million. The goal was to improve and preserve one of the nation's most visited landmarks. But only days after the renovation attracted public attention, concerns began emerging about the condition of the pool. Observers noticed sections of liner appearing loose. Others pointed to algae growth. Photos and videos circulated online, and criticism of the project began spreading. Then came June 19th. 67-year-old Davey Hearn, a former Olympic canoe slalom competitor, was out on what should have been an ordinary bike ride. According to reports, Hearn had ridden more than 50 miles when he decided to stop near the reflecting pool. What happened next is where the story becomes complicated. According to Hearn, he noticed a section of liner that appeared partially detached. Curious, he says he reached into the water to touch the loose material and see what it felt like. He maintains that the piece was already peeling and remained attached when he touched it. Hearn insists he did not remove anything. He says he did not damage anything, and he says he did not vandalize the reflecting pool. But moments later, park police officers approached him. Before long, the former Olympian found himself under arrest. The charge? Destruction of government property. For Hearn, the situation was shocking. He later stated that by the time he understood what was happening, he was already being handcuffed. Authorities detained him for several hours before releasing him later that evening. Suddenly, what had begun as a routine bike ride had become a criminal case. But that was only the beginning. As news of the arrest spread, additional claims emerged. Video footage of the incident appeared online. A journalist who had been closely covering the reflecting pool renovation shared footage and alleged that Hearn had interfered with equipment being used by workers at the site. Hearn disputed that account. He acknowledged that his bicycle may have come into contact with a hose, but denied intentionally touching or interfering with the equipment. Now there were competing narratives. One side suggested improper interference with a newly renovated national monument. The other described an innocent interaction with a piece of material that was already damaged. And then the story took another unexpected turn. Only hours after Hearn's arrest, President Donald Trump publicly addressed problems at the reflecting pool. In a series of social media posts, Trump claimed that vandals had targeted the site and accused individuals of attempting to damage the newly completed renovation. The president also referenced other incidents involving damage reported near the National Mall and called for accountability. Soon, the story expanded beyond a single arrest. It became part of a larger discussion about the condition of the reflecting pool, the renovation project itself, and whether acts of vandalism were occurring at one of America's most famous landmarks. As public attention intensified, many observers began asking important questions. What evidence led officers to make the arrest? Did investigators observe conduct they believed caused damage? Was the liner already detached before Hearn arrived? Will prosecutors be able to prove destruction of government property in court? Or will the evidence support Hearn's claim that he merely touched material that was already loose? At this point, those questions remain unanswered. The legal process is still unfolding. Hearn is scheduled to appear in court, where evidence and testimony may provide a clearer picture of what happened that day. Until then, much of the public discussion continues to revolve around competing interpretations of the same event. And perhaps that's what makes this story so fascinating. Unlike many cases where the facts appear straightforward, this one hinges on a surprisingly simple question. What exactly happened at the edge of the reflecting pool? Was it vandalism? Was it curiosity? Or was it something in between? For now, the answers remain inside investigative reports, witness accounts, and evidence that may eventually be presented in court. But one thing is certain. A brief stop during a bicycle ride has become a story discussed across the country. A story involving a former Olympian, a national monument, and a legal case that is only beginning. And until more facts emerge, the debate is likely to continue. Because sometimes the biggest controversies don't begin with dramatic events. Sometimes they begin with a single moment, a loose piece of material, a curious glance, and a decision that changes the course of an ordinary day. As this case moves forward, we'll continue following the developments. And when new answers arrive, we'll see whether they resolve the mystery or raise even more questions. Until then, the reflecting pool remains at the center of a controversy that nobody saw coming.
Thanks for watching and being part of this community. If you found this video informative, do not hesitate to subscribe, comment, like, share, and tell a friend about us. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed.